up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sunday Service with Faceman and Meg. It's been a while. I think it's been about 3 weeks since we haven't posted a video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a fail on our part. We started this podcast channel, whatever it is, and then we went on vacation, and just quite literally, we were in the moment. We didn't want to stop. We were having an amazing time with the kids and family.
Agreed.
Then we got home to this brand new, beautiful house.
I designed the kitchen. No, not really.
David bought the house, and I decorated it and furnished
it. My VA loan. Thank me for my service. Yeah.
Yep, I do that.
I know you do.
And then whoa, that's too much. And then we recorded one. All of the excuses, but we're back.
It is a bunch of excuses. And at the beach would have been really nice because we had a beautiful beach house. You know, the whole family was out there. My mom, her husband.
Our blended family, your first wife, her boyfriend,
all the kids.
Our friends, your tinfoil hat guy.
Yep.
Came with us.
Yep, Chris. Shout out to Chris. Who's probably on TikTok right now looking for conspiracies. Yeah. Which was a good segue into what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today, we're just going to shoot from the hip. Well, basically, I Googled the 12 biggest conspiracy theories. I don't really know if those are necessarily the biggest ones, but we're going to go I don't know if we're going to hit every single one, but we're going to go through a few of those. And then we're just going to shoot from the hip what our opinions are on those conspiracy theories, whether we believe in them, whether there is a little truth to them, because in my opinion, there's always a little truth to every conspiracy, you know. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the world and the government that, you know, we just aren't informed, I guess, by the media or whatever. There's a cover up going on. So I don't know.
Are we doing these or no?
You want to take a shot? Sure, let's do it. Cheers, my love.
You didn't even get me salt.
For those of you who are listening, you got to cheers in the microphone so they can hear that.
Oh.
There you go.
What do you say? Prost?
Prost. I got lemons here, baby. No? I said I have lemons here. I cut a couple up. We're drinking that tequila. It is what it is. It's Saturday night, right? So anyhow, the first conspiracy that comes up is 9/11.
Oh, you're just going straight for it.
That's the first one that comes up. Like, I Googled it. And again, these aren't, I don't think they're necessarily in order, but 9/11 is the first one. So obviously we all know what happened on 9/11. Mm-hmm. It's tragic. I was in Germany when that happened. I was still living overseas. And
how old were you?
So it was in 2001. So do the math. I'm 41 right now. Thanks for letting the world know how old I am. I look like I'm 20 though, so all good. So those Italian genes in me. I mean, look at this beautiful face, the face man.
I had just turned 15.
Yeah. I had actually just left the club with a buddy because we went out partying, and then we went to his house for like an after party, and it was like, I want to say it was like 6 or 7 in the morning or 5 in the morning, and we were watching a movie. And I was drunk. And we were watching a movie, and then just like the news started flashing, and we were really drunk. We're like, what the hell is this, a new movie that's coming out? And then my mom called me immediately. David, you know what happened? And it was pretty intense.
So I was barely 15. For those watching, I was homeschooled, so I was pretty sheltered. When I saw it, I didn't even know what the Trade Center was. Like, I didn't even.
Really?
Yeah, no, I didn't know. I had been to like 3. I lived in California.
You knew it was in New York, right?
No, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know the Trade Center existed. Like, I didn't know what those buildings were. I didn't know anything about that. And
she does have a college degree and stuff now, you know. So
yeah.
Nothing against homeschool, you know.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely not. That's a whole different topic. But yeah, I didn't know what that was. I knew what the Empire State Building was, but I didn't know. Anyways, so when I saw on the news, I was actually up first, and I saw on the news, like, they were talking about how the plane hit
Two planes,
and I
right?
thought it was like,
Center,
I thought it was like a commercial or a movie. Like I didn't know what was going on. So I was just chilling. Like I was watching it like nothing was happening. And then I started flipping channels. I was like, this is boring. Because I didn't think it was real. And so I like started flipping the channels and it's on every single channel. And then my mom came running down. And I would say it took me like her explaining everything to me a few times before I realized like what was actually happening.
Yeah.
Because in America, like obviously you were in a different country, but I, as a child at that point in time, I just genuinely, it never registered in my brain that an attack on our soil was even like ever gonna be a thing. Like I just didn't even think it was possible.
Right.
I just had so much security. And then I was like, shit. Yeah.
So 2 planes, obviously the towers, 2 planes, and then the plane that hit the Pentagon as well. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of conspiracy involved around that. One of the big ones is that there were explosives in the towers, which I actually believe. I mean, it was a planned out attack. So who says that they didn't put explosives in there? Because they say that, a plane crashing in the towers. And did you see how those towers came down?
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
But here's the deal. Have you ever YouTubed like the Taliban or anybody in that vicinity, just like even doing jumping jacks?
Yeah, the military training, right?
Right.
You would think,
I'm just saying,
how could a person like Bin Laden, who lives in a cave, orchestrate such a?
Can't do jumping jacks, orchestrate. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
they can't do them, babe.
There's a ton. There's
like really, genetically.
There's a lot. They also fuck goats over there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a different story, but true story. You would think, how did they orchestrate such an attack? So. Again, I guess I'm going to go first since I'm already there. So I think there was something, I don't know, maybe there were explosives, and I'm not saying it was an inside job by our government. I'm just saying that there was more put into it. And
there was someone on the inside, whether it was our side or their side, there was someone on the inside that obviously did more than just hitting the tower with a plane.
Yeah, because I don't know, like the way they came down in 2 planes and then what got me the most, obviously there's a trail of like conspiracies that surround all of that. They talk about, and I've never validated this. So I've seen they did a 9/11. I forgot who did the movie, but it talks about everything. Like supposedly an insurance policy that was put up on the World Trade Centers like 2 weeks prior to the terrorist attack happening, things of that nature. So that's kind of weird, but I can't confirm nor deny if that's actually what went down. What really gets me though is like nobody talks about Building 7. So when you talk about 9/11, you always talk about the Twin Towers that went down, but another building went down a couple blocks away. And supposedly Building 7 had like all kinds of files in it and like important documents. So that building like blew up or whatever. But the only people that really talk about that are people in New York, and they mentioned it in the news initially when it happened, but then you didn't hear about Building 7 anymore. And then the plane that went into the Pentagon, just the amount of skill that was required to fly like that. And they interviewed one of the instructors, I think Hamza, I forgot the guy's name, but he went to some flight school in California or Florida. I forgot where it was. But the guy mentions that he couldn't even like fly like basic maneuvers on a single engine aircraft. Like he sucked. But now we're talking about this massive plane doing these crazy evasive maneuvers and flying in the Pentagon. I'm not saying it was a rocket. It was a plane. Like I know people who were there.
Are you talking about every single plane was doing crazy maneuvers, or is that specifically the one that hit
I think specifically the one that hit the Pentagon is just wild. Like to be able to like do that. And like they interviewed pilots, seasoned pilots who've been flying their whole life, are like, I don't know how that's possible. Like for somebody who went to like this little flight school in California or wherever it was, I think it was Florida. They just don't see how that's possible. And then what gets me too is if these guys had box cutters, right? I think it was box cutters on the plane. That's what gets me, because there were instances that occurred like in the following years where like I think it was a plane that was flying to Amsterdam and a guy pulled out a knife and like the passengers took out those guys on the plane. And there was that incident in France in the train. I think it was the Air Force soldiers that took out that guy with the AK-47. Like that really gets me that they were able to take over a plane with box cutters. Like how the people on the plane not fight back? So
because you have to understand the mindset of people back then. Now, hindsight, an MFer stands up with so much as a pencil and people are dropping him,
Right.
But that's because we have reference points now. We're like, hey, remember when 9/11 happened? By the way, my son is really sick and I've been taking care of him for a couple days. So
nobody cares, Ben. I mean, we care about Lennon, but nobody cares about your hair.
But back then, like, I feel like maybe people were in shock because this had never happened before.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. Motherfucker's coming onto a plane, like we're flying in the air and he's got a box cutter. Like I'm looking at the nearest women too, but probably males around me that I'm going to look at them and I'm like, we're jumping this motherfucker. And if they don't want to do it, I'm fucking doing it. So again, I just don't.
Did they only have box cutters though? Or is
they did try to fight back in one plane, didn't they? I'd have to read the story again. I think one.
But did they only have box cutters or is that what we're being told?
That's the word. I mean, because there were text messages going out from, family members and stuff. So it was box cutters. So I don't know. And then the real crazy conspiracy theorists, say that those planes were actually flown. The passengers got on the plane and then those planes like flew into Roswell Area 51 and all those people are being used for like tests and stuff. And then they used these mock airplanes that were like remote controlled. They flew in there, which I don't believe any of that. So in the end, I think there's a little bit more to it. It meets the eye. Some weird stuff.
Weren't there the part that gets me, obviously, is just like the phone messages from like parents to kids and, husbands to wives or whatever. But isn't there like some messages where they say like, we're going towards the Trade Center?
I think so. Yeah.
So if they weren't really on the plane, like,
right,
they wouldn't have seen that.
Right. Of course. And they wouldn't have like sent those messages. So yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that. So
final verdict on this one. I don't think it was just, what was it at that time? The Taliban? Is that who they were saying? Or ISIS?
Yeah, it was Bin Laden orchestrated the whole attack.
Yeah. I don't think it was just some dudes on a plane that crashed into some buildings. I personally think that there were bombs. I think that other building was blown up for some reason.
Building 7.
A reason.
Okay.
I don't know who was behind those reasons. I don't necessarily think.
I'm pretty sure Bin Laden took credit for it. And then there's kind of funny, like they flew Bin.
Well, he took credit
real quick.
It.
Here's the other conspiracy. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Beth, but
is he still alive?
Well, no, Bin Laden's dead. We killed him. The SEALs killed him.
His body.
Yeah, they dumped it in the ocean.
Why? Like that's not why.
I know that's another weird thing, but yes, Navy SEALs killed Bin Laden. That was huge.
I mean, we didn't see it. Why would they dump it in the ocean? Like, what's the point of that?
I don't know. That's a conspiracy in itself, I guess. But let's stay on track with this one. What I did want to mention is they did fly out. Like Bin Laden's family was like in New York, and like a couple days prior to the incident, they flew them out of the country.
Who was? Oh,
Bin Laden's family. So I don't know. See, there's a lot of weird things to the story. I think there's a lot of holes.
I feel like all the conspiracies end with the Illuminati, because the Illuminati is not just America.
Yeah.
Right? The powers that be. So was it American government planting the bombs that also corresponded with the planes and blah, blah, blah? Was it the Illuminati? Was it? Because I mean, look how much money has been spent since 9/11. And
war is always going to profit. People are always going to profit off.
We got to keep people divided so that they don't unite and get too strong. We've got to spend money. We've got to.
Yeah.
Follow the money.
Yeah. Okay. So our consensus. Illuminati. I definitely think it was orchestrated by Al Qaeda, Taliban, whatever, Bin Laden.
I think they were puppets of Illuminati because they can't jumpy jack, let alone orchestrate a massive all-out attack on American grounds.
Okay, fair enough. Illuminati is Megan's answer. I think it was them, whoever the Illuminati is, which we don't know. and maybe we should stop talking about them before the show gets taken down. But that was 9/11. All right, let's jump into the next one. Oh, Princess Diana.
Ooh.
Do you know much about her? So I remember. I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first.
I love Princess Di.
A lot of people did.
She was everybody's sweetheart. She was the world's sweetheart, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a couple of reasons. One, she did not fit in with the royals.
She did not.
Right? She was not royal.
I thought she was.
No, not. I mean, I'll have to Google that, but I'm pretty sure though one of the whole reasons behind her death and just not fitting in and everything was because who was her husband? Charles?
No, she was wasn't she? She was dating a Muslim guy. I thought that's yes.
No. She married into the royal family.
Yes, but then I thought she was like dating a Muslim guy, and that's what like.
No. So from my understanding,
I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and they didn't like that.
No.
Okay.
No, look up who she was married to. She was not royal. She married into the royal family, and that was not widely accepted by the queen. So the queen was always like, you're an outsider, you're not royal. And so the queen was always trying to get her to like follow all of the, he's looking it up. Who was Princess Diana married to? Yeah.
Charles of Wales.
Yeah. Prince Charles. Yeah. So she married in, and Prince Charles his mom is the queen.
But they got a divorce.
Correct.
And then that's when she started dating that Muslim person. I'm pretty sure. And they didn't like that.
I didn't know that. Did they fully get a divorce? I know he cheated on her.
Let me look it up. But talk about
so
Diana.
Anyways, so she was not accepted by the royal family because she just didn't follow all their rules. So she cared more about the people than she did about the customs that she had to follow for the royal family. So she put people first. She was a humanitarian.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't care how she looked. She didn't care if she was standing the right way or holding the right things or whatever. She just was a woman of the people. And that was dangerous to the royal family because if you don't do everything exactly the way they need to do, then that's when at that point, when you start marrying outside of the royal family, you start mingling with the commoners and blah, blah, blah. What's to set you apart at that point? Like, and if you're not set apart, then what happens when this line falls apart? What happens to all the money? What happens to everything? It's always all about money and power. I think the queen had her killed.
Yeah.
So it was paparazzi was chasing her.
And they said the chauffeur was drunk and they crashed in the tunnel, right? Or something like that?
No, the paparazzi was chasing them. Mm-hmm. And they were running from the paparazzi. And then there was like a car accident.
Right. And then the report said that the chauffeur was drunk too.
Sure. But I think it was orchestrated because she was a threat to the royal family.
Do you think like the British government took her out?
I think the fucking queen did it.
Yeah.
And
that's some crazy shit over there.
And people are making a lot of comparisons to Meghan Markle, who is married to Prince Harry, who is Princess Diana's son.
Don't they live here in the U.S.
Now they do, because Meghan Markle said a big F-U. So there's a whole drama over there. Some people are like, oh, she's just this American attention-seeking whatever.
Right.
She might be. But also Prince Harry was just like his mom. He was a humanitarian, a little bit of a wild guy. And then he marries this American girl that's not royal. And so she was not having it. So they pieced out and he stood by his woman and left.
Yeah, I think, because I remember when she died, I was in Germany, obviously. And then my mom mentioned it. She was all distraught over it. And from what I saw, she was just I don't know much about it. She was just really awesome. And she probably started going against what the royal family wanted. And she didn't like what she saw. And they took her out.
There are journals that she wrote where she said that she thought they were going to kill her.
I read up on that. I have read that. Yeah. They're going to get me. They're going to take me out. And I got to research a little bit more.
She was like trapped. Yeah. She was like, it was like like a old fashioned Britney Spears. She was like,
Britney's free though now.
I know, right? Well, so's Diana.
#, free Britney, right? Yeah. I'm
I'm
glad Britney's free. I'm glad Britney is free.
I am too. I mean, she's a little off her rocker, but
okay,
at least, but you know what? There's a lot of people that have the freedom to be, but we're getting off track.
Yeah.
So I think the queen had her killed off with her head.
Damn. Boom, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
I can agree on that. I think that happened.
Mm-hmm.
The moon landing is all a hoax. Supposedly because like the way the flag waved on the moon and like the footprints and no, the fucking moon landing was a real thing.
I like how people, like, so everyone.
This is what a flat earthers, and shout out to Chris Kerber, like the moon is a real thing. Okay. It was a space race against Russia. The US had to win. We made it to the moon. This is the only thing that gets me with the moon. We only went there once after the first moon landing. We've been there twice. And then we just stopped going. That's where I'm just like, this is where my fucking tinfoil hat comes on too, because I'm like, aliens, like somebody up there that said, y'all motherfuckers need to stay off the moon. You know, whatever may have happened, like the moon landing happened, but why haven't we gone back? And they just, I just saw Elon Musk on the Full Send podcast, and he was talking about that too, because Elon in the next 10 years wants to populate Mars, you know, and he was talking about the moon landing. Even Elon Musk was like, yeah, they only went twice, you know, that's it. And then like,
yeah. So
I don't know.
I think it's funny. Oh God, here we go. Hold on.
Tequila. Woohoo.
Okay. I think it's funny though. I think the moon landing is probably my favorite conspiracy to watch people discuss, because you can watch people be flight experts for 9/11, right? Oh, you can't fly a plane like this. It's too difficult. The flight school, the patterns, whatever. Like all conspiracies, people can debate. But the moon landing, you have people becoming experts about how a flag flies in space. And how many people have ever actually been to space? Right. Like, you are not an expert.
Yeah. That is true. I mean, they're saying because of gravity. I mean, there are things that we know about, like the surface of the moon and how, you know, how everything is up there and gravity and blah, blah, blah. So, you know.
Do we though? I mean, like,
from what we're told.
Yeah. From what we're told.
Yeah. So the moon landing definitely happened, right?
I mean, I think the moon landing happened, and I think that there was something found that that made it so we don't go back.
Maybe, yeah. And I love that conspiracy, but we 100% went. I think that's just insane to think that we, you know, they say it was like Disney is like tied into it, I think, and they use like studios and Disney to fake the whole thing. You know, like. And they've interviewed these astronauts too. I mean, I guess they could all be lying, but that'd be a pretty big hoax to like cover up. Just same thing with like 9/11. I don't want to necessarily go back to that, but like just imagine our politicians can't keep their mouths shut. Like Hillary Clinton's emails and stuff, everything always gets leaked. How are you gonna keep this huge fucking conspiracy under wraps without anybody finding out? Like, it would take a lot of people to be involved, and everybody keeps their mouth shut about it. So moon landing.
Yeah, that would be a lot of people.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like when people talk about the flat earth and like, so all the pilots are in on this too.
And especially because like, if I was in on the moon landing, if the moon landing wasn't real and I was in on it, you know what I wanted? And I want to do this at my funeral either way. When I'm laying in the casket, I want to pre-record a video. Like, if I know I'm going to die, I want to pre-record a video of like everybody's secrets that I know that I'm taking to my grave, and then have the screen come down and be like, well, guys, I said I'm taking it to my grave, and today's the day. So it's about time to out all you motherfuckers. And if I was in on any conspiracy, I would be like, watch it.
Yeah, but if people knew that you were in on it, they'd make sure that information never gets leaked.
That's true.
You know. So yeah, moon landing happened. It's a good one though. So all you crazy flat earthers, the moon is real.
I actually heard a really cool theory.
The sun is real too. It's not just some fucking hologram.
Okay, I heard a really cool theory about like with aliens and everything about why aren't aliens just like actively presenting themselves to us or like actively coming here.
Look at us.
Yeah. Well, one, they probably created us, so like
if they're observing us, they're like, oh fuck no. Like we're gonna leave those savages alone. Just like they kill each other. They're horrible. Like,
but I heard this theory that what if the Earth and all of us here are so insignificant and so small, and all of these aliens and this whole everything is so advanced from us that it's not that they're like, they can't find us. But what if it's more so that we're just so small that they're just genuinely not interested?
Yeah.
Like all of these, colonies are so far advanced from us. This person that I read said it would be the equivalent of you and I sitting here today saying, hey, you know what we should do next Saturday night? Travel all the way to the rainforest, walk deep into that rainforest, and party with one of those anthills.
Yeah.
Like it's just not even on their radar.
Right. Yeah, aliens are definitely real, which is the next one too. I 100% believe in aliens. Imagine though. So a lot more people nowadays believe in aliens. I think it's become like, if you talk about
I don't know anyone who doesn't.
Well, no, 10, 15 years ago, if you brought that stuff up, now it's because the news is showing it. I mean, they're literally, the government's like released files of these flying discs and flying Tic Tacs.
You know what I think is ridiculous? I grew up in the church. And I grew up like in a Baptist style, non-denominational, like white Christian evangelical church. And anytime aliens were brought up, it was like, God didn't create aliens. It's not in the Bible. Yeah. So they don't exist.
Yeah.
How fucking dumb are people? Like when you look at how small the world is, or the earth is, in the universe, and then how many in the galaxy, and then how many galaxies there are in the universe, and then they're like, well, Genesis didn't say anything about aliens.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. No, I get that.
That's just so dumb.
And here's
and these people are politicians making laws.
I think what would be even scarier, like, so for those that are like afraid that aliens are real, like, what if they're not? Like, that thought in itself is even scarier. What if we are literally the only living, functioning people, humans or whatever, in the entire universe? I think that thought is actually scarier, to just think it's just us. Like, let that resonate, like how important that would be if it's literally just us. Like, when we're done, it's just gone.
What's more difficult for me to understand, but also equally as interesting and plausible, is the combination of the complexity of, are we alone out there, or are there other beings out there, right? Combined with the complexity of time, right? Mm-hmm. So like, are we the only ones out there now? Mm-hmm. And then in a different time and space, now all of a sudden we are one of how many?
Right.
Right. And maybe it, like, time confuses me. Yeah. That whole, like, maybe
to them, they might have a complete different concept of time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because if they're traveling like so far.
What if Elon Musk is from the future?
He's probably an alien. That dude's a G.
What if we are aliens?
Well, we are essentially, right?
Right, but I'm saying like in a different
dimension,
in a different time dimension.
That could be.
So what if aliens are us just in the future? So what if these beings that are contacting us, or we see these UFOs, what if they're literally just us in a different time dimension coming back to change something? Like, what if in this other future time dimension, something really, really awful is happening and they're coming back to change it.
Yeah.
Like, what if those aliens coming back are literally us in the future coming back?
Yeah,
to
like
change
thousands
something?
of years ahead.
Right. Like millions of years ahead. And they're coming back to change something.
Yeah, it could be. So it's just us in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if aliens are us in the future?
Yeah, that's a good theory. 100%. I think I could believe that theory. I guess we'll never know.
So that's the alien ones.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see, what's next? I don't even want to talk about this. I guess there's a huge movement that says birds are not real. Like there are
literally the only time I've ever heard that is from Chris.
There is like a movement that they claim that birds are not real. There's some government entity that just spies on us.
I'm gonna crush.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna crush this one with one story. With one story, I'm gonna crush this conspiracy. Our poor parakeets.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Sky
and Kiwi. formerly known as Daryl. We had two parakeets. Had a blue, a blue one and a green one. They were very real. And Sky, David named Sky, who was blue and white. Very original name. Then there was a green and yellow one, and I named her Daryl. And David said I wasn't allowed to name her Daryl.
You can't name I mean, the name's funny as fuck, but you can't.
You can't name a bird Daryl?
Yeah, maybe. I know we had that debate.
He said he would not be okay with that name.
Yeah. So
she got changed to Kiwi.
I know, real original. I think Lennon picked out Kiwi. I'm gonna blame it on the kids.
I really, really feel like Daryl was. Anyways, so they were great birds. They were real sweet. We let them fly around the house all the time. And then our dog tried to play with them. And that didn't go too well. So Kiwi was injured under the couch hiding, who later died from internal bleeding. And Sky, not so lucky, he did not get a chance to hide because he was severely injured laying on the ground. And David had to end Sky's life. But in that, did you see any robot?
No, there were no microchips or anything in there, or wires, or no, it was blood, and we still love our dog. And when we brought the Kiwi to the bird rescue place, they had tons of birds there, and they said that if Jet was actually trying to kill them, he would have ate them and killed them. But he was just playing. I mean, these birds are this big, and a paw like that, one slap. And they used to dive bomb, I mean, they shouldn't have died for doing that, but Jet would just be laying there and they dive bomb. But yeah, so birds are fucking real. Okay. There's no wires in them. It's not a government conspiracy to, be able to watch.
And so were your emotions when you put poor Sky out of his misery.
Yeah, it sucked. I mean, he was like sitting on my hand the day prior, eating out of my hand, and I had to break his neck. It's shitty, but, so,
nature is brutal.
Yeah, so we're not even going to go into the birds thing because that's just the dumbest fucking thing ever. And it's like, actually, according to this article, it's actually going on right now. It started in 2017, and it's like a big movement. So the last one that we're going to talk about, there's actually two. I'm going to let you pick one. COVID and 5G.
What?
COVID and 5G.
Oh, it's between.
No,
COVID?
It's together. Like we can just COVID and 5G. Okay. Roswell crash, which is aliens again, and then chemtrails.
So we're not going to do aliens again. We already kind of did those.
Roswell Area 51 definitely happened though. UFO crashed there.
I feel like COVID is easy to wrap up. So let's go to chemtrails because COVID, super easy to wrap up. Personally, I think the government created COVID. I think COVID is very real. I've had it multiple times. And I think that COVID did it, or the government created COVID specifically to make money on vaccines and for population control.
Why would you like population control as in like reduce the population?
Correct.
Why?
Because we're overpopulated.
No. See, and that's inaccurate.
Global warming?
but we're not overpopulated.
Okay, I shouldn't say overpopulated. We are damaging the earth so much.
Okay. Because like birth and all that stuff of like more kids and stuff has actually dropped drastically in the US.
Right. But I'm
like
talking
having
about,
kids.
So I'm talking about like emissions, global warming, and all of that. Like we need less people creating less waste to be able to preserve our time here on Earth.
But we're already.
And you even talked to Elon Musk about that.
Yeah. But like
I'm not just talking about the birth rates. I'm talking about like, because that's like 100 years. Like you're trying to, if you're trying to eliminate.
Because like you remember like the whole thing in China where they can only have like one kid. That like stopped in like the 90s. They can have like up to 3 kids now because they're having less kids.
As long as they're boys.
Yeah, because they're having less kids there. Like Elon Musk actually talked about this.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more not necessarily control. It's control over the population. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the COVID thing too much. You kind of wrapped it up and I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that the shit was created in the lab in China.
Conspiracy is about control.
And I think it was like blown way out of proportion. I mean, people have died from it. So
it is very real. I'm not one of those people that think it's not real. It's very
real. But I think it was blown out of fucking proportion. I had it, and the only crazy thing that really happened was I like lost my taste and smell, which is pretty.
Well, I think that's unfair to say because you're a very healthy person.
Correct. But then there's other, like Lennon had it and he has asthma and he was fine.
Lennon didn't have it.
I thought didn't Lennon have it that one time? No. I thought he did.
Mm-mm.
That's right. That's when I had it or you had it and we thought he was sick and then we tested him.
But we're all healthy.
Right. Yeah.
And there are healthy people who have died and there are unhealthy people who have died. My older sister's a nurse and she's seen the worst of it. So I'm not saying it's not real. It is very real. I just personally think that it was created by the government.
I mean, it was created in a lab.
Have you seen that shit about Bill Gates and what he's like, the second wave is coming and then like.
Yeah, now we got monkeypox.
Don't even talk about it.
That's
if this travel ban happens again.
Monkeypox is an STD.
I am getting married in October.
Yeah.
And this travel ban is not happening. Your parents will be here. Anyways, so that's COVID, government orchestrated, all for control, whatever. There's as much as we're upset about it, there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. So you want to talk about chemtrails real quick before we end this awesome episode. So chemtrails, you know what they are?
No. I mean, I know something about they're not really clouds. They're something.
So it's like planes that are flying over the US and I guess other countries and stuff, and they're dropping these chemicals out of these planes. And supposedly the chemicals are to like for anything from mind control to like fucking up our crops, stuff to kill us like faster, things of that nature. A lot of times you'll see a plane and it's like the exhaust or whatever from the engine, whatever it is. You're like, oh, fucking chemtrails. They're flying over us to fucking basically do all kinds of crazy shit.
I don't know enough about it to say one way or the other.
Yeah, I don't believe that. That's a massive, it takes one pilot, but everybody else that's involved in that process.
That's true.
Again, to keep that secret, that we are literally flying planes over, the US and infecting crops or, damaging crops or creating some sort of mind control. Like, I don't know. I don't believe in the chemtrail shit either. I think that's far-fetched as well. Yeah. But anyway, hope everybody enjoyed the episode. This was kind of, we came up with this idea today, right?
Yeah, because we've been dropping the ball.
Yes, we do have a lot more coming. We got one about guns and gun control and everything. But yeah, this one was a fun one. We do conspiracies on the Trash Talk Hour. We kick it off the first, 2-3 minutes to light the dumpster fire. Today we talked about mermaids. We could have brought that one up. That's kind of cool.
Or the fact that we all are living in a simulation. That's what some people say.
Yeah, that's intense. I'm not smart enough to talk about that. Like on that level, that like Matrix style.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, Ben, great episode. Love you. See y'all next week. Boom.